Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with here today with an article from Outkick dated October 7th, so a few days ago from the time I'm recording this. And I wanted to bring this up because I saw a follow-up on a different website that just kind of made me do a facepalm and kind of like the type sound. But as you are probably aware, maybe, that I do watch WWE. I unfortunately have since gotten rid of my cable, finally, after decades, it seems, and so I don't watch it anymore because I don't have the channels for it. I do have the Peacock app, so I can watch the pay-per-views, but I don't go back and watch Raw or anything. There's enough recap shows on YouTube that I can watch. But in any case, that's enough blabbering. But this headline, after their most recent pay-per-view called Bad Blood, I think it was last Saturday, on the 5th of October. It says, TripleH shuts down race-baiting reporter asks about lack of black men atop WWE during record business. And the website that I saw the article on that made me kind of like think, like, should I comment on this? And I kind of went, nah. And then I saw it on Outkick, written by their main political person, Bobby Burak, and I was like, all right, maybe it's something that's kind of getting around and I should mention it. And then I saw it was getting around a little bit more and I was like, okay. But the site that I saw it on, that I go to just for like the rumors and stuff, is Cage Side Seats, which leans very much to the left. And you just read their comment section and it's like, it's just full of like anti-white, like racist stuff. Okay. And I was like, I just saw this and I'm like, okay, so there weren't any black people on this pay-per-view besides the 3 black women that hosted the show, which, okay, fine. But it's like, people that complain about something like this, it's like you're always missing something that is right in front of your face that you just don't feel like commenting on for whatever reason. Like, you just missed it. It's like the people that say, like, you don't like a movie because there's a woman in it, never mind the fact that everybody's praising a woman or a movie that had a woman in it, like just not much before that. But anyway, let's get into this because this just pisses me off. So it says, WWE is in the midst of a record business period in terms of ticket sales, revenue, and broadcast rights. The company is arguably as popular as it has been since the boom period in the 90s, commonly referred to as the Attitude Era. And for people that don't know what era that was the era responsible for popularizing Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, mostly, but there were other stars in there, obviously, as well. But that was during that time. Okay, but so-called wrestling journalists have one major gripe with the current product: there isn't enough diversity for their liking. So reporters asked Paul TripleH Levesque, who is the head of creative, about the lack of black male representation atop the company during the Bad Blood post-show press conference on Saturday. And keep in mind that as they're asking this, even though I shouldn't say it's black male representation, if they're complaining about diversity, well, there were a number of wrestlers on the show that were Samoan. In fact, most of them were in the main event. So there's that. Okay, but it says Levesque quickly shut down the reporter, telling them that skin color is not a factor in WWE booking. Watch below. That's basically what he says. And he basically says what we're going to repeat right here. He says, I see everybody gets the opportunity. I don't see the difference in anybody. I don't see the color. I don't see the nationality. I don't see any of it. I just see talent. I don't see the difference between men and women. I see talent, said Levesque. And on Cage Side Seats, when that was reported, there were people saying that's a really bad answer. Like, that's just a non-answer. It's bad and all this stuff. And I was like, no, that's actually the exact correct answer that he should be saying. Okay? This is right. You want to see talent. You are in a business that promotes meritocracy. Okay? You want the best people to rise to the top. Okay? It doesn't mean there aren't any black stars. There certainly are. There's some very good black talent in WWE right now across the board. But he's done pay-per-views to where there's only, since he took over, except for WrestleMania and I think even SummerSlam, there's only been like 5 matches on the smaller pay-per-views, so it's pretty limited. So I mean, so it's just a matter of just work your way into a story, like into popularity, into a story that people want to see, and they want to see a payoff at a pay-per-view. That's really it. So he continued on by saying, we tell stories with those talents. How they can handle those stories and represent those stories and bring those stories forward, I don't keep track of any of that. I do what's relevant and what's best in storytelling and what's being delivered the best, and that's what goes. Again, totally, perfectly acceptable answer. The journalists routinely try to browbeat corporate figures into succumbing to DEI agendas and quotas. Media figures want decision makers to see color. And while DEI initiatives are great for cocktail parties and social media, DEI is often the antithesis of how to run a successful business. Okay, I'll try that again. Antithesis. I know how to say that word. I just didn't say it right there. So it says professional wrestling is one of the last true meritocratic industries in entertainment today. The new Netflix documentary, Mr. McMahon, emphasized that despite all of WWE's past ills, the brand lives by one motto: do whatever is best for business. And that's been a motto in WWE in storyline and behind the scenes for decades as well, is the best for business thing. So skin color be damned. And that's the exact attitude there should be. Says what's amusing is that Levesque was pressed on the lack of black men on the card during an event highlighted by the shock return of The Rock, a black man, yes, half black, half Samoan. Says the current plan is for The Rock to main event WrestleMania in April, which is considered, like, again, for people that don't know, just being in the main event of WrestleMania, whether you win the match or not, is considered like a career highlight in the wrestling industry. So it's an honor to be in that. And he was in, actually, the main event of the first night of WrestleMania this past year. Okay, and the main event both nights was Roman Reigns, who is half Samoan. Okay, so, and he's not there, but, like, this is from WrestleMania Night 2 of this year. Cody Rhodes was the champ, and he should have been. I mean, like, you can usually tell when somebody's going to be, deserves to be the champ. You're like, they put the belt on, and you're like, yeah, he deserved to be. Yeah, 100% did, since he came back to the company, so no one really had a problem with that. They wanted to see him finish the story. So it says, the idea that WWE should jeopardize its business in the name of diversity is foolish and emblematic of our media culture. The two biggest stars in the company are Roman Reigns, who I mentioned before, and Cody Rhodes, who you just saw the picture of, who are Samoan and white, respectively. And, again, based on the numbers, it's working. It's not that WWE hasn't pushed black men. It has. Big E and Bobby Lashley were recently world champions. Yeah, and Big E, unfortunately, has been out for a couple of years because of a neck injury sustained in a match. Broke his neck, basically. He's alive and fine. He's still rehabbing, but I don't know if he's ever going to be able to work again, and that sucks because he was good. He's a fun dude. And Bobby Lashley just left WWE. He's going over to their competitor AEW. And I wish they'd done more with him because that dude's got a killer look, and it just seemed like they never quite did a whole heck of a lot with him, in my opinion. Because the dude looks like he can just beat wholesale ass. The WWE booked The New Day, a trio of three black men, as its top stable of the past decade. Yeah, they've been like consistently the most popular tag team, and Big E was one of the guys in The New Day, along with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, who are both excellent wrestlers. And they've been like their top tag team for like the last decade, basically, consistently. Like the top tag team or close to it. And they've won like 9 world tag team titles. So it's not like they're not being pushed, okay? It says black talents are pushed when individual black talents move the needle. If a black male happens to break through, you can rest assured that WWE will elevate that performer. Yes, they absolutely will. It says, well, WWE is not going to force an undeserving performance atop the card and risk derailing its current momentum simply to appease a bunch of woke bloggers online. Other brands and entertainment should take note. And there's a reason WWE continues to grow while sitcoms, films, and talk shows experience record declines. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, the whole crux of this article and the thing that got me was seeing this quote right here that I'm going to highlight that I went over before and seeing it on that other website where people were just like, that's a horrible quote. And I'm like, no, that's exactly what he should have said. Okay? Is just basically we're doing this based on talent. We're not doing this based on anything but that. Simple as that. Okay? And if some of those black or minority wrestlers are put in programs, I shouldn't say put in, but their programs result in them getting more popular, which is certainly working for a few guys that I can think of right now, then they'll get their pay-per-view matches and they'll be on there. Great. No one's going to care. Everyone's going to be like, all right, it's a good match. We want to watch it. Like, nobody cares. Okay? What the color is. The rest, like, these folks don't understand that wrestling fans are just like, we just want to see the best talents do their thing. We're not looking at, like, what color are they? Okay, that's it. So anyway, I'm done ranting. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Did you think Triple H's quote that he brought up here is the exact right quote, or do you think something else? Do you think he should have said something else? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.